We have practiced Essbase.
So you're done with the practice. So what are the things you have practiced?
Related to loading data, sir, by using rule file. We have practiced 3 methods, sir.
Srinivas sir gave some questions on we practice the answers and also.
Okay, how do you feel that? What kind
So
of questions?
questions are very basic questions about Essbase and HFM, and I searched it in Google, and I note the question answers, but I really don't know is it sufficient. The answer is sufficient or not. But sir told that he will give the proper answer with the questions once this. I don't know when we'll give, but he told that he'll give after some time.
Okay, so we're going to talk about in depth on the BSO side today. Okay, so just confirm me what are the files will be created. Do you have any doubts? Okay, so I'll just walk through this presentation. Okay, so we know that BSO application directory would be like it is available in the Arbor path, but this path may be different for the version. Okay, don't simply say that user project, CPM system one, not like that. Generally, this Essbase server is available and Essbase server one and APP. Okay, in this APP folder, the applications will be available. What are the supported files which you see in the application? You have seen this. Okay, so index and page file. Are you good with these two files? What it means?
Page file loads. Page file stores the data.
Yes, sir.
When we store,
Index.
when we load.
Index is
Index
the interactions of all the dimension and that.
Right. So it is the intersection. Okay, IND intersection. Okay, pages something data. CSC, what is CSC? What is CSC?
Calculation script.
Right. CSC stands for like it saves the calculations. Okay. And TXT. What is TXT?
Text file.
Different
How we get the TXT file?
by notepad, sir. From
Text file. To build dimensions.
How we get the text file?
we input when we write something on the notepad and we save it.
No, not that one. You are saying related to the metadata building, right?
Build a dimension. Yes.
No, this TXT is not for that. Do we have any other format that we did already?
Uh, Sir, when we delete, when we store the that our file in Arborpath, it will save in txt before clearing our data. That
Yeah.
that metadata file is shipped to that Arborpath, and there it will that .txt format it will store. Then when we load that file again in Essbase, so we this txt file we use to load the data again.
Okay. Do we use TXT format only for the metadata, or
CSV also we can use.
txt.
did we
Excel
export
format
it?
also.
Yeah.
By using CSV format also we can load the data, sir. I have tried.
Right. Yeah. So when you do export the data, clearing it from the database and reloading the same data file, this process we call it as defragmentation. What is defragmentation?
Exporting the data from application and reloading.
If any user my Essbase application is giving poor performance, or I am connecting to Essbase app through Smart View after 5 minutes. Okay. So if you got these kind of issues from the user, then the best way is put the level 0 data, clear the data, de-import, okay. Aggregate finally. This complete process we call it as defragmentation. We used to do this. The reason is if any user report like this, how we aggregate the data? What is aggregation?
So by consolidation signs we can aggregate the data.
How we can do that through Smart View?
By giving calculate function.
Calculation function.
Right. So when you click on calculate, it's going to use the backend command called calcall. Okay. Right. So calcall is the command. So this command is from the calculation script. So this is the aggregation command. Okay. So this process is called defragmentation. So you can export the data in TXT format generally. Okay. Not only the metadata building source file, you can use source data of that cube. I think you're good with this consolidation operators. Any questions with this? Any questions, guys? No? Okay. So we going to discuss about the member formula. What is member formula? For example, if you have like consolidation operators, you made it here, units, list price. For units, you kept plus. For list price, you put like multiplication. Okay. Then you're going to get the gross sales as units into list price. Yeah. So you can do the calculation using the consolidation operators. Okay, we call it as hierarchy calculation, or else we can write a member formula at the gross sales called unit into list price. Okay, so in Essbase, we can do that calculation using the consolidation operator as well as the member formula. But now let's say we assign units as plus, list price as hash mark. and we kept the member formula both. We have both. Now tell me which one it will take. Which one it will take as a preference to do the calculation, either member formula or through hierarchy.
Multiplication.
Sorry,
It takes multiplication.
your voice is very low. Sharon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what you are saying?
Multiplication, sir.
Member formula, sir. Formula calculation order.
Right. It will take the formula calculation order as the first preference to do the calculation. Okay. I want you to perform on your own this. Okay, try it and let me know if you don't get that. Okay. Do that analysis through SmartView once you made the changes or update the formula here. Okay. Now coming to the data block creation. How the data block will be created? How the data block will be created? When you input the data through SmartView, or when you load the data using load data option from EAS, or if you do the data copy. So anything, among these 4 options, if you do anything, one block will be created. Okay. How the blocks are coming? How the blocks are coming?
Through cube.
So you know how to build the cube size, right?
If
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Blocks.
If I want
Blocks.
to.
Through cube, sir.
Block size will calculate like the dense dimensions into 8 bytes. Dense dimension stored member into 8 bytes. The size of the block. So we'll get the block size.
Dense dimension tells us number of cells and block size, sir. Sparse dimension tells us how much number of blocks.
Combination of sparse dimension is block.
So a data block will be created when you make changes. Until and unless if you input any value, there is no block. Okay.
Yes.
So block will be created if you do anything related to data load or data copy or any sparse dimension consolidation or some member formula if you put. Okay. So now you can see here the index is nothing but the combination or intersection. The data is nothing but when you do submit the data 100. And this we are going to talk about in the calculation script. This we are not using it now. It's a world versions. We are going to create the blocks on equations. Okay. Of course, we put that member formula here. And what is intelligent calculation? This is very, very important question in the interview. If someone asks you what is intelligent calculation, you have to explain this. There are 2 types of blocks. One is clean block. The other one is dirty block. Okay, I'll explain you that. Okay. That's the data. Okay, for Jan. So try to understand here. I'm trying to input the data here. 1500, 2000. Okay, and I'm submitting the blocks which had impact after I input the data. Okay, those blocks we call it as dirty blocks. The blocks which didn't change anything, I didn't make any changes. Those blocks we call it as clean blocks. Okay, so clean blocks that don't require any calculation. When we don't require any calculation because there is no data. If you don't input the data for that particular combination, it is clean block. If you made any changes to that block, it is dirty block. Okay, and when you perform a full database calculation, how you do the full database calculation? Go to calculate. This is called full database calculation. This default calcol. Okay. When you do the full database calculation, Essbase marks which blocks are calculated, which blocks have been calculated. If you then load a subset of data, you can calculate only the change data blocks and their ancestors. So when you going to submit this calculate option, what Essbase does is Essbase knows what are all the blocks got already calculated. It knows it. OK, now what it is trying to do is what are the blocks are ready to calculate? What are the blocks got changed recently? Those blocks it is going to calculate, not all the blocks. Is it good or not? If Essbase can understand what are the blocks got changed, if it calculate only those blocks, then it is good in terms of time consuming. So
Yes, sir.
because January is already calculated, so I didn't change anything. Why I should go to the January block, right? So if you then load a subset of data and you can calculate only the change data blocks like Feb and March and their ancestors, like ancestors in the sense the parent, expense, revenue, like this. OK. So now what will happen? If you're going to do calculation only the change blocks, then it's not responding sometimes. Yeah. So this selective calculation process is intelligent calculation. So if you calculate only the dirty blocks, then it is called intelligent calculation. If you are calculating both clean and dirty blocks, it doesn't make sense in terms of time consuming. The calculation time is very, big. It calculates a lot, all the blocks which are already collected. So if Essbase has set up with intelligent calculation, it's going to calculate only the dirty blocks, the blocks which requires the calculation. OK, and you can change the default setting. So we have a file called Essbase configuration file. In every Essbase server, this configuration file will be available for any customer. If this file got corrupted, your Essbase won't work. OK, so if this file is corrupted, you could not work on Essbase server. So where this file is available? Where this file is available?
So, Arbor Path, sir.
Let me go to that Arbor path. Yeah. I went to the Arbor path, where I can see that Essbase CFG file. It is actually available in Essbase server bin folder. Okay, this bin folder is very important for the Essbase. The Essbase CFG file is available here. It has the backup file also. Okay, so just go and open in Notepad++. You see, what is the set update calc? On or off?
Off.
So what it means if it is off? You can change the default setting in the Essbase configuration file or on a script basis with the set update calc off. So when you perform a full database calculation, Essbase marks which blocks have been calculated. If you then load a subset of data, you can calculate only the changed blocks and their ancestors. This process we call it as intelligent calculation. By default, intelligent calculation is turned on. What it means? So if you don't mention here off, it will calculate only the dirty blocks. So just type this command set update and type here off. If you type on, it's going to calculate only the dirty blocks. Clear on this? Any questions? What is the Essbase server port?
1900.
Okay, this port is the Essbase server 1423. Right, so I would like to discuss this. This is very important concept. An intelligent calculation is based on the data block marking. When intelligent calculation is active during the normal process within the index file, blocks are marked clean or dirty. Okay, if it is turned on, right now I kept it as off. We don't require for this particular data. We don't require to turn on or off. Okay. And now coming to the calculation scripts. So just understand what is the difference between OBC and SBC.
So outline-based calculation will be performed with the consolidation operators, and the script-based calculation is for the formula what you said. Some business.
So far what we have done, did we do OBC or SBC?
OBC,
sir.
outline-based calculation.
Right. So what are the examples that we can use for SBC?
Member formula.
Member formula is OBC.
This is their business rules or something in Essbase. The option is there. I don't. I think that one, sir. Business rule and all. When we consolidate, there is an option.
I'll give an example. Okay, so here I have here working version. Okay, so I'll put here John. What is the version we have in Essbase? So working draft 1, draft 2, final. So 4 members in there. So now customer asks you, hey, can you copy the working version data to final? How you do that? Using outline based calculation, can we do that working to final copy?
By using shared member.
Sorry?
Shared member.
Why we required a shared member for version? What is the purpose of version dimension?
It is to tell whether it is working. It is finest. In final, we cannot do any editing.
Sorry.
We cannot manage data in final.
The customer asks you, hey, I want the working version data for fiscal year 20 here for AP budget working to budget final.
I think we can copy same data and paste and we can submit.
So for this kind of customized requirements, we require the calculation script that we call it as script based calculation. Okay. It will calculate the entire database or it will calculate the portion of the database. So entire in the sense for all the years, fiscal year 10 to fiscal year 20, or portion of the database in the sense only for fiscal year 20 or 21 or 19, whatever. And you're going to use perform complex calculations and it controls the order in which dimensions are calculated. So here the calculation script came up with the concept called customizing the business requirement. Okay. So if the business is required, hey, go and copy the working version to final, then we are going to use this calculation script command. And this calculation script command is available in this order. First, we have to write the housekeeping statements. Housekeeping statements in the sense, it's a global in general. Global in the sense, if you are aware of the C programming, we are going to, create a variable called create variable A and assign that A equal to 5. So wherever you use that variable A, the value 5 will be calculated. So in the housekeeping statements also, we are going to set it up like set update calc off or on. That's one of the global housekeeping statement. If you want to calculate throughout the script as only the dirty blocks, it will calculate, or all the blocks you can turn off. So housekeeping statement starts with set. Starts with set commands. So calculation scripts commands are two types. One is set commands, @ function commands. So set commands we are using in the housekeeping statements. Function commands we use it while we are doing the calculation. Okay, for which member we need to do the calculation. So all those things. Okay, and this is what you are going to. What are the set commands you have? Set message, set update calc all, calc parallel, set update calc off, on, clear block, clear data, data copy. And this actual function is going to start with fix and end fix. So the portion of the database or the complete database is going to be designed using the two functions called fix and end fix. If we put fiscal year 20, the entire calculation will run only for the fiscal year 20. Okay. And we don't require this generally. Normalization is all like data warehouse concepts. What is calc all? When you click on calculate from the smart view, the backend command is calc all. Calc dimension, it will calculate the specified dimensions. Okay, for aggregation purpose. And AGG is nothing but the consolidation operator. It will consolidate only parent-child relationship and it will ignore the member formula. If you put AGG, it will ignore the member formula. It is commonly used for the sparse dimension that are consolidated with addition operator. Okay, so these are the settings that you need to be aware. So in the interview, they may ask, what is the purpose of calc dim? Calc dimensions calculate only the specific dimensions. Aggregation, we use it for the sparse dimensions, and in that sparse dimension, the member should be having addition operator. Okay. Yeah, one more thing, a good performance tuning technique. So in the intelligent calculation, we talked about If I want to have the calculation time is very less, you can enable the set update calc on. Otherwise, you can go with set update calc off. Okay, but HourGlass model is also one of the performance tuning technique where if you want to leads to the performance issues from the business users, you can design your outline in this format. What is the format? How you have to design your outline first? First, you have to create outline in the account in the first tab in the outline, then period, then other dense dimensions if you want to have. OK, then again least sparse in the sense you can use scenario, entity, version like this. Finally, you go with product as a sparse dimension. And last, we are going to have the attribute dimensions. Okay. If you go and design the outline, how you have to design the outline? First account, second period, third is mostly scenario, entity, version, and last products and customers. Okay. Where are the attribute dimensions? They are available last. That is called HourGlass model. HourGlass model will give you the best performance for your application. You see? So we have to move this period to here. OK. And later like entity, scenario, year, find last, products, customers. And if you have the attribute dimension, it should be last. Clear on this? Any questions? I'll show you one real-time application how they design. This is the real-time application how they design that HourGlass model. First they put account, period, year, scenario, version, entity, and view. These are the standard dimensions that they have, and all the remaining are attribute dimension. Do you see? Okay. So HourGlass model also you're gonna get that question in the interview. All right. So you are all aware of it. It's very simple, this concept. If the member is January, your list price is 100. If it is Feb, 105, March, 110. You're just trying to calculate using this if else commands. And end fix or fix commands, we are going to calculate this tax only for the New York. If you want to restrict that combination, you can use a fix command. So you see a lot of functions with fix and end fix guys in the real time. This is very, very important. OK. And I'm going to write one calculation script command for our requirement. So I want to copy the data for working to final. Log into the calculation script command. What's my application? Essbase John. Right click on that budget. Go to create calculation script. OK. And you have here two options. Insert arguments, enable auto completion. Use enable auto completion. If I type something, it will show me what are the related commands that you require. You can just select it. OK. If you disable it, it won't come. All right. Now, what is my requirement? Copy working data to final. That is my requirement. OK. So in the fix command, I'm going to use this is for fiscal year 20 and AP. I don't want to copy the data for all the entities for all the years. I want to copy only for fiscal year 20 AP and budget also. OK. If you put January also, that is fine. OK. These dimensions are very, very important. I want to copy the data for these combination fiscal year 20, comma, AP, comma. That scenario. You have data combi command working to final. This is my requirement. End fix. So what we are trying to do here, I am restricting to do the data copy only for this combination. Let me validate this syntax. What it is saying? There are some errors if you don't use this command until that syntax accepted. OK, so here it is saying is incomplete. Working to final is incomplete. Just type semicolon. Validate now. OK, so semicolon is important in the calculation. Now save this. Save the calculation script call with the name of data copy. The format of the calculation script is CSV. OK, now I'm going to run this calculation. You got it right? This is OK. When you do the calculation, you have an option called execute in the background. So what is the purpose of this is if you select and say execute, the calculation is run in the background. Background in the sense, let's say I have some other work, parallelly. So if you don't select this, this window will not allow me to do any other changes. OK, so if I say this process will run in the background and I can do other work on the same application or another application in this window. And one more thing very important is if you select execute in the background, the calculation will run fast. OK, so calculation executed in background launch. Say it OK. And now go to the tools. You see view background process. I can see this here. What has happened? OK, with the date. And this one. OK, 35. So you can watch what other things are happened. Now, if you go to this, say refresh, my data got copied. This is not possible using the outline based calculation. We use this script based calculation using the calculation scripts. Like this, we have some other calculation scripts I'm going to give you as an assignment. Just give me a second. I want you to perform all this. OK, so I'm going to use this for you. Copy. Go to your I'm going to paste it here, guys. OK. So what you need to do is you have to understand what is clear data, what is data export, we have the same functions, data copy, clear data. I want you to thorough with this script. What is happening here? So tomorrow I'm going to ask each and every one, what is it? OK, you have to understand what is at the rate level members, at the rate children, at the rate relative, at the rate level, all these members. I want you to thorough with these functions. today completely work on the calculation script. I want you to understand the purpose of each script, each command. Okay. So tomorrow, Saturday, so I'm going to schedule one session in the morning time. Okay. So I'll tell you the timings. Today, completely work on this calculation script. Only this. You have to understand each and every command, each and every row, the sentence. Okay. So make a document on it. How many calculations were there in this script? What are the iterative functions we use? What are the set commands we use? Everything you have to tell me. Okay. So calculation scripts are very, very important in Essbase. Okay. So probably Maxwell is there, Maxwell script. And we have one more presentation called ASO type. Okay. So that ASO type I'm going to discuss in the next session on Monday. Okay. At least if we can complete by next week, we are good with the on-prem. Okay. So from here, we are going to discuss in the next session, guys. Any questions?
Sir, in planning HFM also calculation script is there.
We call it as business rules. We can use the same command. HFM is somewhat different. You can use the same calculation script in Essbase. What you used, you can copy and paste in planning, but not in HFM.
Okay.
Okay. So make sure guys today completely work on that calculation script. Okay. The next session will complete that the remaining concept, and ASO application is there. I'll just discuss what is required for you on the ASO application. Okay. Once that is done, we have support activities on the Essbase side. Once that is done, we'll jump into the planning. Okay. Fine then. Thank you guys for joining.